I told my mom years ago that I was looking into learning about, not becoming, but learning more about it. And I had purchased a book, and she found the book, and she flipped off the wall. Literally, I've never seen my mother do gymnastics like she did that day. And I couldn't understand it. I felt it was very unfair, and I felt that people need to, or my mother needed to be educated a little more. She needed to understand that there is not just one way of life here. There are religions all over the world. There are cultures all over the world. What makes this one any different than Muslim or some of the extreme, some of the other extremists? Not that Muslim is extreme. Some of the alternative religions, or some of the cults that we have found here in this country, which should be reminded that Wicca is not a cult.
No, absolutely not.
You know,
absolutely not.
I think there's a difference that people would tend to classify it. As such.
People can come and go as well as they will. You know, I mean, that's and they do.
Yeah.
Because actually, Wicca is one of those paths that sometimes people dip a foot in. You know, test
the water.
Yeah, test the waters, and once they realize a few things, like the fact that it's a lot of work, and it's not just a fad, and you get to wear black, and woohoo, and get can do a little Tabitha thing or whatever.
Clothes never fly into that closet like they do on the TV show.
But once they realize that it's not a quick fix to anything, then sometimes they'll move on, which is good. Move on. But other people who are more serious will stay. And if they feel that that's truly their path, if not, they'll move on to something else. But hopefully they've gained something from Wicca.
Right.
But that absolutely, we don't want to hold
dues,
on to anyone who doesn't want to be there.
There's no ritual to, there's no punishment for leaving early.
No.
And, there's no mailing list that's collected or
absolutely
sold.
Not.
Let's get back to the Salem situation.
Right.
We're now over the United States, and people in Salem are in hysteria because one little girl, if I remember correctly from my trips to Salem, got sick, and no one knew why. Am I accurate on this,
there
or
was
am I kind of off? I don't quite remember what started up, but I think they confused.
Well, there are many theories to that. I mean, of who started what and who pointed which finger. And there's this one theory about Reverend Paris and his slave Tituba, who is supposedly the one who started teaching the little girls some
yes, I remember that story.
African magic, and they sort of freaked out about that.
Just out of curiosity, is that where the term black magic came from? Where did the term black magic come from?
Oh, that's a good question. I think black magic just refers to, I don't like the term black magic or white magic or putting labels on magic.
Unfortunately, though, that's how people have recognized it.
Yeah, they have. And I also don't like to refer to myself as a good witch or a bad witch. But black magic is any kind of negative magic that manipulates someone else's free will.
And if you decide to do that, what happens to the witch?
The law of 3, which means what you do comes back to you 3 times, either good or bad. So if you decide to do something that's not too nice to someone, it's all karma. Yeah. And you get it in this life.
Yeah.
Okay?
The next one.
And it's not this sort of pie in the sky, oh, well, I'll hang out in purgatory for a while, and then then I'll go up there.
And I'll get up there.
Right? No, it's like now. So it's a very, even though we have that one law, which is do what you will and harm none, it's really a personal moral code, and
it's along the lines of do unto others.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Hi, you're on The Experience.
Hi, Heidi. I just wanted to make a question and a comment to you. The question is, I see sometimes people wear like that 5-star, the 5-point thing.
This?
Yeah.
It's a little too big to wear around your neck, but
that's it. But I'm wondering, why is it worn, and is it like sometimes Catholics wear medals?
Yeah.
So what is that thing for?
Okay, great question. The pentacle represents, first of all, it's not satanic. The Satanists will sometimes invert it, and that's how people have seen this. But even when this is inverted, this is still a sacred Wiccan symbol. It has nothing to do with Satanism. But Satanists invert crosses as well. But it just shows that they're revolting against the establishment, whether it's pagan or Christian. But what a pentacle represents is fire, earth, air, and sea, and then the 5th element, meaning spirit, reigning above all. So that Wiccans are in tune with the elements and in the earth. So that's what the symbol of the pentacle means. And it's also used on altars as an earth element. So whatever you're blessing on an altar, you would put that on top of this particular disc, which is my altar tool.
Okay.
I do wear one right here, as you see. It's also, people will also use it as a protection of sorts.
Kind of like the crystals. That...
It's like wearing a cross.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my cross, and I firmly believe that I shouldn't have to hide it from anybody. But unfortunately, a lot of people do think once they see this, whether it's from Motley Crue videos or whatever, that it's a satanic symbol. But it absolutely is not a satanic symbol.
Now, along those lines, if you take that circle away, you've kind of got the Star of David.
Yeah, a lot of people confuse the pentacle with the Star of David.
Does that background have anything to do with? It's just okay. Well, did the Star of David?
I think it's Star of David is 6. I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the way it's. I'm thinking something about 6 with that, but yeah, no. This is absolutely a sacred symbol for Wiccans. It's used in ritual a lot, invoking certain elements. You'll use the pentacle, a pentagram, to call in certain elements and to also dismiss them.
Okay.
So, but that's a great question. Thank you.
Thank you for. Is there anything else you need to say, or?
Yeah, I want to also make a comment.
Sure.
Heidi, I think you have a lot of courage for doing this.
Thank you.
Smile. And what else did I want to say? People make religions, but our faith comes from a higher power. Mm-hmm. And if you can find it in Wicca or the traditional religions, it's necessary for people to open up their minds and see that there's an energy out there that encompasses everything. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That is the I'm gonna go back and replay this at the end of the show, and I'm gonna write that quote down.
I think we should give her the free reading.
There you go.